Jeffrey Dahmer, the infamous serial killer, owned a collection of human skulls as trophies. This chilling reality hints at the dark path Dahmer treaded on from a young age. As a young boy, he was fascinated by the anatomy of the dead, a macabre curiosity that eventually spiraled out of control. His troubled childhood was marred by isolation and a growing dependency on alcohol, both of which further fed his grim obsessions. But the true horror was yet to unfold as Dahmer stepped into adulthood. As Dahmer grew older, his obsessions only deepened. The line between his disturbing fantasies and reality began to blur. His curiosity, once limited to the lifeless bodies of animals, soon escalated to a much darker place. It was in the summer of 1978 when Dahmer committed his first murder, a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks, forever sealing his descent into the abyss of inhumanity. His desire for control, a chilling aspect of his personality, grew stronger. Dahmer didn't just want to end lives, he wanted to possess them. The idea of having complete authority over his victims, both in life and death, consumed him. His methods were nothing short of horrifying. He began to experiment with chemicals, hoping to create compliant living zombies. And yet, despite these monstrous acts, Dahmer managed to maintain a disturbing facade of normality to the outside world. By day, he was Jeffrey Dahmer, the quiet, introverted chocolate factory worker. By night, he transformed into a predator, stalking the streets of Milwaukee, searching for his next victim. He had an uncanny ability to lure young men into his lair with promises of money or simply companionship. Once inside, they would meet a fate too gruesome to imagine. His apartment was a house of horrors, filled with photographs of his victims at various stages of death and dismemberment. He kept souvenirs, trophies of his macabre activities, as if to relive the moments of control and dominance. It was a grim reality that remained hidden behind the closed doors of apartment number 213. As the body count grew, so did Dahmer's audacity. His crimes became more reckless, more daring. But the human psyche can only endure so much. The darkness was taking its toll, and Dahmer was spiraling out of control. The monster was fully unleashed, but it was only a matter of time before his reign of terror came to an end. In a twist of fate, Dahmer's horrifying spree was brought to an end not by diligent detective work, but by a narrow escape. The man who would unknowingly become the hero of this gruesome tale was named Tracy Edwards. A chance encounter with Dahmer led Edwards down a chilling path, right into the very heart of darkness. Edwards, in a desperate bid for survival, managed to elude Dahmer's grasp and flee from the grisly apartment that served as the stage for Dahmer's macabre performances. With a heart pounding like a drum and adrenaline coursing through his veins, Edwards flagged down 2 police officers, leading them back to the lair of the beast. The unsuspecting officers, initially skeptical, were met with a scene straight out of a nightmare. The shocking discovery within the apartment's walls painted a horrifying picture of the atrocities that Dahmer had committed. The remnants of his ghastly deeds were scattered around, a testament to the unspeakable horror that had unfolded there. Dahmer was promptly apprehended, his reign of terror abruptly ended. But as he was taken into custody, the gravity of his monstrous deeds started to sink in. He began to confess with an eerie calmness the terrifying details of his gruesome acts. The monster was finally caged, but the horror of his crimes would continue to haunt. Dahmer's reign of terror left a chilling legacy. A legacy that continues to haunt the victims' families and society to this day. The harrowing tales of loss and grief remind us of the magnitude of Dahmer's monstrous deeds. The lives he stole were not merely numbers, but sons, brothers, friends, irreplaceable human beings who left a void that could never be filled. His chilling spree also cast a spotlight on the importance of mental health awareness. Dahmer, a man plagued by severe psychological disorders, slipped through the cracks of a system ill-prepared to recognize or address his issues. By the time his true nature was revealed, it was too late for his victims. On another note, Dahmer's case underscored the failings of the criminal justice system. A system that failed to properly investigate earlier offenses which may have prevented the horrors that followed. Jeffrey Dahmer, a name that will forever be synonymous with the darkest corners of human nature.